Here we're asked to state all values of 0 to 2 pi that satisfy each of the following equations. Sketching the unit circle may help, and by may help, we mean it for sure will help. So in this one here, sine is equal to -1/2. Remember that sine of theta on the unit circle represents the y values. So when y is equal to -1/2, that is two very specific points on my unit circle where I have these lines here. So if I'm looking for the angle right between 0 and 2 pi, there's going to be two answers for this first one. The first one, if I'm going all the way around here, a couple things to think about, because the opposite side of this triangle, let me just zoom in on this here. When I have the opposite side of the triangle is 1/2, I know that that is 30 degrees or pi over 6 right here. And I already have, because I already have pi on the top half here, I'm just adding another sixth. So my first angle should be 5 pi over 6 for A. Then my second one, again, I know that this small, let me do this in red so you can see it. This small angle right here is pi over 6. So I'm really going all the way around except for that little pi over 6. And I know that there's 12 pi over 6 in the whole thing. So my second angle would be 11 pi over 6. So the more practice you get with the unit circle, the easier these types of problems become. I'm going to erase this so I have a little bit more space for the second one here. So second one says we got cosine of root 2 over 2. So if I draw my unit circle here for B, cosine of an angle is the x values. So that is positive root 2 over 2. I know that the root 2 over 2 are the ones that are halfway, which is 45 degrees, or in radians, it's pi over 4. So there's my first one, nice and easy. My second one goes all the way around to this one here, and it's kind of missing one little piece that is pi over 4. So if the whole thing is 8 pi over 4, then I know that my second angle is 7 pi over 4. I may have talked a little bit fast through that, so if you're not sure on how I'm getting these numbers, make sure to come talk to me in class. For the next one, tangent. Okay, so tangent's a little bit trickier because tangent, if we remember, tangent of theta is equal to sine of theta over cosine of theta. So really, I need to know two different things to be able to figure this one out. If I know that tangent is root 3 over 2, root 3, then I know sine of theta over cosine of theta is root 3. And so when I'm going through this problem here, I need to find somewhere on the unit circle that helps me out with that, because I'm going to divide two things, and I'm going to leave with just root 3 by itself. And so remember, our options really are limited to 1/2 root 2 over 2 and root 3 over 2. So when I divide two of these things, which one gets me to here? Well, that would be root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Let me just show you that here. If I'm doing this, you should see that I'm multiplying by the reciprocal, which the 2's cancel out and just get me to root 3. So I'm looking for when I take root 3 over 2 and divide it by 1/2. So when sine is root 3 over 2 and cosine is 1/2. So if I'm looking at that one there, I'm going to look at my unit circle. Let me find sine here. And the other thing to think about, right, is that technically, if I made both of these negative, I would still get just root 3 for tangent. So I also need to find when it's negative 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2, which would be this line right here. And something to note about tangent is technically tangent also represents the slope on the unit circle. So in this case here, if you see that I have tangent is equal to, this line on one side, I can just continue that line to the other side here because that continues to have the same slope. So now to find the actual angle here. So if I know that this is 1/2 root 3 over 2, then I know that this is going to be 60 degrees here, or pi over 3. So that's my first angle. I also know that this here is 60 degrees, or pi over 3, meaning I go a whole pi, then I add another pi over 3, which gives me my second angle of 4 pi over 3. So my two solutions are pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3 for C. Now, let's see if I can delete all this in one little go here. Delete. Nice. So the last one, when is sine of theta equal to -1? Again, that's my y value on the unit circle. My y value is at -1 right here, which there's only really one solution, which would be 3 pi over 2.